You think you have time. That's the quiet lie underneath almost everything you do. You put things off, the call you keep meaning to make, the dream you keep meaning to chase, the life you keep meaning to start, because somewhere in you, without ever quite saying it, you believe there will always be more time, more years, more someday. A vast, endless reservoir of tomorrows stretching out ahead of you. And so you spend today carelessly because you're certain there are countless more where it came from. Nearly 2,000 years ago, a Roman philosopher named Seneca looked at the people around him, busy, distracted, forever postponing their real lives, and he saw the most tragic waste imaginable. Not the waste of money, which can be regained, not the waste of possessions, which can be replaced, but the waste of the one thing no human being can ever get back: time. He watched people guard their money jealously, argue over small sums, refuse to give away a single coin, and then throw away their days, their weeks, their years as if they were worthless. As if time were the one thing they had an infinite supply of. And Seneca understood the terrible truth that most people spend their whole lives avoiding. You do not have as much time as you think. In fact, you have far less. And the portion you're actually living, truly, consciously living, is smaller still. Most of your life is being quietly stolen, not by some great catastrophe, but by 1,000 small thefts you don't even notice. The hours lost to worry, the years lost to postponement, the decades lost to a kind of sleepwalking through a life you keep telling yourself will really begin later. Today, I'm going to walk you through Seneca's urgent, uncomfortable philosophy about time and mortality, why you have less of it than you believe, why you're wasting far more of it than you realize, and how to finally start living before it's gone. This will not be a comfortable video. Seneca was not a comfortable philosopher. He wrote about death the way a doctor delivers a hard diagnosis, not to frighten you, but to wake you up while there's still time to change course. And by the end, you may look at the hours of your own life with a seriousness you've never felt before. Because the truth Seneca understood is that the awareness of death is not morbid. It's the only thing that makes life fully alive. If you're ready to stop wasting the time you have left, type "I'm awake now" in the comments. Let's begin. Let's start with the illusion itself, the belief that you have plenty of time, because until you see through it, nothing else can change. Seneca observed that people live as though they were going to live forever, not consciously. If you asked them, of course they'd admit they're mortal. But look at how they actually live, and you'll see a person behaving as if death were something that happens to other people, in some distant, abstract future that has nothing to do with today. They postpone. They defer. They put the best of themselves off until someday. Someday I'll travel. Someday I'll mend that relationship. Someday I'll do the work that matters to me. Someday I'll actually live. And they do this because, deep down, they believe someday will always come. You live as if you were destined to live forever. No thought of your frailty ever enters your head. Seneca is holding up a mirror, and the reflection is unflattering. He's pointing out that we conduct our lives with a strange, unspoken assumption of endlessness. We treat our days as if they were infinite, spending them on trivialities, on distractions, on things we don't even care about, confident that the important things can always wait. But they cannot always wait, because the reservoir of time you're imagining, that vast supply of future days, is far smaller than you think, and it's draining every single moment, whether you're paying attention or not. Here is the arithmetic Seneca wants you to face, and it's brutal. Your life is not measured in years. It's measured in days, and the number of them is finite and already counting down. Every day that passes is a day permanently spent, not paused, not saved, spent, gone, unrecoverable. You will never get this day back. And yet most people treat their days as if they were free, as if there were an unlimited supply, as if losing one here and there meant nothing. Seneca would ask you, if you were told exactly how many days you had left, a specific, dwindling number, how would you spend today? Because you do have a specific, dwindling number. You just don't know what it is. And that uncertainty, instead of making you cherish each day, somehow lets you waste them all. Now let's go deeper, because Seneca's most piercing insight isn't just that life is short. It's that most of what we call life isn't actually being lived at all. This is the part that should genuinely disturb you. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements if it were all well invested. Read that carefully, because it flips everything. Seneca is not actually saying life is too short. He's saying the opposite, that life is long enough, plenty long enough, for a person to accomplish everything that matters if it were used well. The problem is not the length of life. The problem is the waste. We are not given too little time. We squander the abundant time we're given, and then at the end we complain that it was too short. It's like a person handed a great fortune who spends it all on nothing, and then, penniless, cries that they were never given enough to begin with. The time was enough. The living was the failure. So where does it all go? Where does a life actually disappear to? Seneca cataloged the thieves of time with the precision of an accountant, and his list is uncomfortably familiar even 2,000 years later. He saw people consumed by pointless busyness, rushing from task to task, always occupied, never actually accomplishing anything that mattered to them. He saw people enslaved by other people's demands, spending their finite days serving agendas that were never their own. He saw people paralyzed by anticipation, living perpetually in a future that never arrived, or trapped in a past they couldn't release. He saw people numbed by pleasure and distraction, filling every empty moment with noise so they'd never have to sit still and confront the passing of their own lives. They lose the day in expectation of the night, and the night in fear of the dawn. That's the trap in a single sentence. So many people are never actually here, in the day they're living. They spend the day waiting for it to be over, and then they spend the night anxious about the day to come. They're always somewhere else ahead of themselves, behind themselves, anywhere but in the present moment, which is the only place life ever actually happens. And a person who is never present in their own life is, in a very real sense, not living it at all. They're just letting it pass, a spectator to their own existence, watching the days go by from behind a window of worry and distraction. Let's talk about one of the biggest thieves specifically, because it's the one almost everyone is guilty of: the future, the endless postponement, the belief that real life starts later. Seneca had a fierce contempt for this habit because he saw it as the theft of the present in the name of a future that isn't guaranteed. When you say, "I'll be happy once I achieve this," "I'll rest once I finish that," "I'll really start living once the conditions are right," you are handing over your one certain possession, the present moment, in exchange for a future that may never come. You are sacrificing the bird in your hand for a bird in a bush that might not even exist. And the cruelest part is that this pattern never ends. The person who postpones living until they reach a goal simply sets a new goal the moment they arrive at the old one. The finish line keeps moving. The someday keeps receding. And they spend their entire life in the waiting room of their own existence, always about to live, never actually living. While we are postponing, life speeds by. That's the whole tragedy compressed into 5 words. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't pause while you get your conditions in order. It speeds by right now. As you read this, it is speeding by. And the person who is always postponing looks up one day to find that the life they were saving for later has almost entirely passed, unlived. The later they were counting on has quietly become never. This is why Seneca is so urgent, almost desperate in his warnings. He watched people do this. He watched brilliant, capable people defer their real lives indefinitely, always planning to live tomorrow until they ran out of tomorrows. And he wanted to grab them by the shoulders and shake them awake before it was too late. Now here is where Seneca introduces the idea that ties everything together, the idea that is his great, uncomfortable gift to the human race. The solution to wasting your life is to keep death constantly in view, not to fear it, to remember it. This sounds dark at first. We're taught to avoid thinking about death, to push it away, to treat it as a morbid subject best ignored. But Seneca, and the Stoics generally, understood something profound that our death-denying culture has forgotten: that the awareness of your own mortality is the single most clarifying, most life-giving force available to a human being. It is not the enemy of living well. It is the precondition for it. Let us prepare our minds as if we had come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Think about why this works. When you truly grasp that your time is limited, not as an abstract idea, but as a felt reality, everything reorganizes itself. The trivial things that consumed you suddenly reveal themselves as trivial. The petty grievances, the status games, the endless distractions, the things you were so worried about held up against the fact of your own mortality. Most of them simply dissolve. And the things that actually matter, love, meaning, the people you care about, the work that's truly yours to do, the simple wonder of being alive at all, those things come sharply into focus. Death is the great clarifier. It burns away the inessential and leaves you holding only what is real. This is why Seneca wanted death always in view, not to darken life, but to illuminate it. There's a reason the people who come close to death, who survive a serious illness, a near-fatal accident, a brush with the end, so often describe it as the thing that finally taught them how to live. They stopped sweating the small stuff. They stopped postponing. They started saying what they meant, doing what mattered, being present in their own days. What they gained was not more time. They may have gained no more time at all. What they gained was awareness of time, the felt knowledge of its preciousness and its limit. And that awareness transformed how they lived every remaining moment. Seneca's radical proposal is this: you don't have to nearly die to gain that awareness. You can choose it now, while you're healthy and the danger is only theoretical. You can live with death in view on purpose and reap all the clarity of the near-death experience without the trauma of it. Let me be very clear about what this philosophy is not, because it gets misunderstood constantly. Seneca is not telling you to live in fear, to spend your days anxious and trembling about your mortality. That would be its own kind of waste, trading a life stolen by distraction for a life stolen by dread. The awareness of death he's describing is not fearful, it's the opposite. It's a source of urgency, yes, but also of gratitude, of presence, of a fierce appreciation for the gift of being alive at all. The person who truly holds their mortality in view doesn't become morbid. They become awake. They savor their coffee. They really look at the faces of the people they love. They stop wasting afternoons on things they don't care about. They live with a kind of vivid intensity that the sleepwalkers around them, still lost in the illusion of endless time, will never know. And there's another thing Seneca is emphatically not saying. He's not telling you to fill every moment with frantic activity, to optimize every hour, to treat your life like a productivity project. That's just busyness in disguise, another thief. Seneca actually praised leisure, reflection, stillness, the unhurried contemplation of important things. The point is not to do more. The point is to live more, to be genuinely present and awake in your days, whether you're working or resting, whether you're achieving something or simply sitting quietly. A person can be frantically busy their whole life and never truly live a single day. And a person can live a quiet, unhurried life and be more fully alive than the busiest person on earth. The measure is not activity, it's presence. It's whether you were actually there for your own life. So how do you actually do this? How do you stop wasting the time you have and start truly living before it's gone? Seneca's philosophy points toward a real, practical path, and I want to give it to you clearly. The first thing is to guard your time the way you guard your money, actually, far more fiercely. Seneca pointed out the absurdity that people who would never let someone steal their money let everyone steal their time. They'll defend a small sum with great energy, but they'll give away their irreplaceable hours to anyone who asks, to obligations they don't care about, to people who drain them, to distractions that leave them empty. Start treating your time as your most precious, non-renewable resource, because that is exactly what it is. Before you give an hour away, ask whether it's worth what it costs, because what it costs is a piece of your finite, dwindling life. Learn to say no to the things that steal your days. Every yes to something that doesn't matter is a no to something that does. The second thing is to stop postponing your real life. Whatever it is you keep telling yourself you'll do someday, the relationship you'll mend, the dream you'll pursue, the way you actually want to live, Seneca's message is blunt. Someday is a lie. There is only now. The conditions will never be perfect. The right time will never arrive on its own. So begin. Begin badly, begin imperfectly, begin before you're ready, but begin, because the alternative is to postpone until you've postponed your entire life away. Ask yourself honestly, if I knew my time was short, would I keep waiting to do this? And then act on the answer, because your time is short, whether you feel it or not. The third thing is to become present, to actually inhabit the day you're living instead of leaking away into past and future. So much of life is lost not to any dramatic waste, but to simple absence, to never being where you actually are. Practice returning to the present moment. When you're with someone you love, be with them, not half lost in your phone or your worries. When you're doing something, be in it, not rehearsing the next thing. The present moment is the only place life ever occurs. The past is gone. The future isn't here, and if you're never present, you're never alive. Reclaiming the present is reclaiming life itself. And the fourth thing, the deepest thing, is to keep death gently in view, not as a source of fear, but as a source of clarity. You don't have to dwell on it morbidly, but let the awareness of your mortality inform how you spend your days. Let it be the filter that sorts the important from the trivial. When you're about to waste an afternoon on something that doesn't matter, let a quiet voice remind you, this is a day of your one finite life, and you will not get it back. When you're caught up in some petty anxiety, let the vastness of mortality shrink it to its true size. The remembrance of death is not a weight that drags life down. It's the light that makes life shine. Held rightly, it turns ordinary days into precious ones and frees you from the small concerns that steal so much of our time. Here is what Seneca ultimately understood, and what I want you to carry out of all of this. The tragedy of human life is not that it ends. The tragedy is that most people never truly begin. They exist for decades, they breathe, they move through their days, but they never fully live, because they're always convinced that living is something they'll get to later. They treat their finite time as if it were infinite, and so they waste it, and then they arrive at the end bewildered, wondering where it all went, feeling as though they never really lived at all. And the most heartbreaking part is that it didn't have to be that way. The time was there. The life was available. They just kept postponing it, kept sleepwalking, kept believing the lie that they had time. You are believing that lie right now in some corner of your life. There is something you're postponing, some way you're not fully present, some part of your existence you're saving for a someday that is not promised to you. Seneca is reaching across 2,000 years to tell you the truth that the dying always learn too late. You do not have as much time as you think. This day, this ordinary day you're moving through half awake, this is your life. Not later, not someday, this. And it is passing right now whether you show up for it or not. But here is the hope buried inside the hard truth, and it's why Seneca wrote at all. It is not too late. Whatever time you have left, and you don't know how much that is, you can still choose to live it awake. You can still stop postponing. You can still reclaim your days from the thieves that have been stealing them. You can still become present, still remember your mortality, still let it wake you up and clarify what matters. The sleepwalking can end today. The illusion of endless time can shatter today, and in its place can come something far better. The vivid, urgent, grateful awareness of a person who finally understands that their time is precious precisely because it is limited. That awareness is available to you this very moment. And the moment you seize it, you stop merely existing and you start, at last, to live. So I'll leave you with the only question that matters. Will you keep sleepwalking through a life you assume will last forever, or will you wake up now, while you still can, and finally start living before it's gone? If your answer is the second one, drop "My time is now" in the comments right now. Speak it into existence. Make that promise to yourself. Because you think you have time. That is the great, comfortable, deadly illusion. The truth is that your time is running out quietly this very second, and the only tragedy would be to realize it, as so many do, one moment too late. Don't wait for that moment. Let this be the moment instead. You are alive right now. That is the whole miracle and the whole opportunity. Don't waste another day of it believing you'll live forever. Live now, because now is the only time you were ever actually given.